Movement right now, passable. I think we're in a middle ground. I say that in like, and I think this, if there's a slider right from like Warzone 2 over here and fucking like Verdance or Warzone 1 here, I think we're like more towards Warzone 2 movement at the moment. I think two things should happen in my opinion. Either revert, or because we've seen them separate things for Warzone and multiplayer. We know it's possible. We've talked to the devs. They said it is possible to change things, right? So either one or two things. Either put the movement back to not Caldera, beta 2 movement, where regen, your regen bar, there's no bar right now in Warzone, but the regen bar filled up while you were sliding, or in my opinion, just give yourself unlimited auto attack sprint. So that's a topic I want to discuss. I tweeted this out, unlimited auto attack sprint, like yesterday, 2 days ago, and that tweet got hella engagement. I asked, I was like, okay, can somebody give me a legitimate argument to why unlimited auto attack sprint would be bad? And I went through that and I read it, and nobody gave me a valid argument of why it would be bad. The biggest thing that people said is what happens at double time. Like, nothing in my opinion really made me feel like there was a valid excuse for them not to have it. And this is why I say it, is because they can spend all year trying to fix and tweak the movement, auto attack sprint, when it should run out, when it shouldn't, how fast it regens, things like that. Or they could just give you unlimited auto attack sprint. It's Warzone. It's not multiplayer. I feel like multiplayer should feel a little bit different than Warzone. Warzone is fucking times 100 the size of a multiplayer. So why have the same movement? That's also, just my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree. And also, to add on to what you're saying too, I know there's been a topic of like whether it was like micro like movements, so like YYing, slide canceling has like messed with servers, like server issues. They've said like a lot of the times it's like a lot of it is like calculated in their
inputs,
yeah. Right? And if you have unlimited attack sprint all the time, you're not slide canceling. There's probably way less YY spam and pulling out their nades to reset attack sprint and diving. People will still do it, but it'll be way less. I mean, because people right now are meleeing and throwing out semtexes and like, you know, canceling that and diving and all these. There's all these certain ways to reset your attack sprint. So I feel like that would also help out a little bit with that. But
it's one less stat to balance too.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like there's kind of a happy medium where maybe they just give double time as default, and then when you equip double time, it would give you the unlimited, so that it's still a need for that, because it doesn't fit everyone's play style. And I think the whole system of the perk system is so that you're supposed to pick perks that fit your play style. And if they made that one so that you would have to do that one, you would have to run that mandatory. If you want to jump off roofs, then you got to run that with Mountaineer, and then now you can't run sleight of hand or whatever. So then you got to pick and choose what perks are most important to you. And I think it's very unlikely that they'll give unlimited attack sprint.
Yeah, I mean, I hope not.
Regardless, if there's no downside, it doesn't matter. I don't see that as how they want to design their game.
Yeah, I guess the way that I see it is like, look, man, like if they just fix the sprint, like obviously perfect world. Jake and I were talking about this yesterday. They remove auto attack sprint completely and just add just sprint, but increase the sprint speed, right? Like this going from somewhat fast to fast to somewhat fast to fast, and like it doesn't. I feel like
it makes the regular sprint feel
slow as hell.
The regular sprint, it's still good. It's just, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, so I mean, agree. I would hope that like at the very least, you know, if we want unlimited auto attack sprint, fine. I think that'll solve the issue of you don't have to spam slide cancel, but you can also get from point A to point B without feeling clunky. Okay, then in my opinion, go back to the old school, or not the old school, the beta 2 week movement where it felt really damn good, and then for whatever reason they changed it, right? Like again, this is BR, this is not multiplayer. It could feel complete. It should feel different, in my opinion. So yeah, that's one of the things that I think the game needs. And then health regen, boys. For whatever reason, they upped it from 5 seconds to 7-second regen whenever you get damaged or whatever. Why do y'all think they did this? I don't. I think we should go back to 5 seconds.
Well,
why
they
7?
wanted you to run the perks. They wanted you to run the perks and the vest.
That is just insane to me.
Because the med vest is supposed to health regen in 5 instead of 7.
Like-
And then quick fix is supposed to be there for the trade-off. That's the whole. 7 seconds is too long, in my opinion. I do agree, but I'm just explaining.
Yeah,
7 seconds is a
You
long
just said
time.
why.
That's a long time. Let's be
7
honest.
seconds is insane.
Bro.
Especially if you're not running Mountaineer, you jump off a roof, you have to pop the parachute, or that'll stop the regen,
Yeah.
and then you turn 6 seconds into like an extra 7, so 13. It's not good.
So that's the thing is like, okay, this is what I mean when I talk about like they try to fix things that were never broken to begin with, right? Like no one asked, hey, I think I'll regen a little too fast. Let's like no one ever said that, you know? And so like there's little things that whenever you play the game, you're like, ooh, like, oh, it shouldn't feel like this. This shouldn't feel like this. Like again, movement, one of them. Health regen, one of them. So that's one of my big things that I think could be addressed. And then lastly, which we can talk about more, is player count. Boys, I said this at the beginning. I'll say this now. I still think for whatever reason, man, I don't know. Ebates, let me know what you've been thinking. I personally, I can't go. Like, big map is, I can only play it for so long now. When I used to be able to play big map all the time. All the time.
Because you're a Resurgence kid now.
Dude, I'm not a Resurgence kid, bro.
That's crazy.
It's like,
I
dude,
think your last couple uploads are Resurgence, bro.
oh, because
You're a
I know
Resurgence kid.
that's what the casuals like. That's what the casuals like, buddy. You know? Like even somebody like D, right, who like obviously has dominated the big map scene and the small map scene, but like he likes the big map more, right? That's all we played last year, and like he's like, bro, this map, something just feels wrong about it. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel smooth. Like I don't know about y'all, but I can go I can go through 2 to 3 POIs and not find anybody. Like that happens to me all the time. I think 120, like let's try it out. Let's try, like what's the worst that can happen? Try it out 120 for a week.
The servers fail tragically.
I'll say, yeah, 100 is an issue where you land somewhere, you don't see anybody. It feels like the lobbies hold up good enough because we have all these ways to come back. So lobbies will usually drop to like 60, 50, and you'll see the lobbies kind of stay alive for like 3 to 4 or like third to fourth circle, like 50, 60-ish. But I feel like that's a huge issue. Like your beginning games are super, super slow. Like you said, you have a really hard time finding people. You could balloon. They did the balloons pretty good where you can kind of get balloon to balloon right now. It's great, you know, to get around the map. But I mean, it just sucks. The first 2 to 3 circles are horrible. Like it's just not fun. And I think that's like
fact that
you lose the excitement of it. No, you're good.
The fact that it's not multiple players and it's like the regain with the random guns at zone. Like you get like getting a wipe or getting an almost wipe on a 3-man in like zone 4 means that the first guy is going to come back with like a 30-round striker with an attack.
Yeah. No,
That
which
shit
is another
sucks,
issue. I agree.
dude.
It's a huge issue. People get flared back and
The
you're
worst
just landing on a
feeling.
rooftop and they have a gun. I definitely
Before it was
agree.
like, okay, you win your gulag. Okay, cool. Keep the gun. Great. Awesome. Now it's just like, dude, you don't like...
We're playing
Throw me a
basically
bone here,
Resurgence
dude.
on the
I
big
just
map.
pieced these guys, and now this guy's gonna land on my head. I don't hear him, and you know.
So I guess what's y'all's opinion on that, right? Because like I've seen both ends of the spectrum. Because I get it. Okay, real quick, one side note. Just so y'all know, a lot of people are saying in chat they've already addressed that them adding more players or having 100 players has nothing to do with servers. The servers can handle 120. It has more to do.
It was a design choice.
Yeah, it was a design choice, Chad. It's not has nothing to do with servers. So just so y'all know. But what is everybody's opinion on like the whole BR turning into Resurgence, man? Like I don't know how I feel.
They need to make BR. That's my take.
Here's the deal. This is.
I know where you're gonna go with this. I know, but go ahead. But I know what you're gonna say.
So obviously I don't know how I feel because you're right. Playing BR has now gotten to where it doesn't feel like BR anymore. It really doesn't.
Right.
And numbers show though that people love Resurgence. Numbers show that like Resurgence numbers are pulling hella, like it's more casual friendly. You know, the quote unquote bots love Resurgence more. It's understandable. So what I assume happened is they took that and were like, okay, how do we make big map? Like a lot of their resources are probably going into big map. How do we make big map feel like Resurgence? And that's why we have all these different ways of coming back. But in turn, it's giving you like the feel of this is no longer BR.
There's no dope. You win a game and you're just like, oh, I just got bought back 5 times and flared and whatever, and like we won the game somehow. Like There's no like value in my life. Like, damn, I just died there. I let my team down. Like, fuck, we got to go to the next game, boys. Like, that's on me. That's on me. I just died right there. That was on me, boys. Like, next one. It's no like you just get bought back, flared, gulag token, whatever. It's just boring. It's boring.
I think it's hard. It's more like a pendulum. I would say that like even Verdansk wasn't a BR. If we're being serious, the pacing just was not. When they launched Caldera, for example, it was 100% a BR, and everyone hated it. People don't want a pure BR. But like I said, it's a pendulum. So they swung that shit way too far, probably to make it Resurgence. And it needs to go probably a little bit further back, but not full BR. I don't think like the COD players do not want to play a battle royale. There's way better battle royales on the market. They're not COD people. You know what I mean? They're appealing to a specific demographic, and that's why Warzone played so well when it first came out, because it was the non-traditional battle royale.
Yeah.
You weren't spectating your buddy like Blackout for 20 minutes because you happen to die off of floor loot. You got bad shit. That's battle royale. No one wants that, but they're going to go play whatever the hell they want. They're going to play their PUBG. They're going to play their tradition. That's not who COD's trying to appeal to. But like I said, it's a pendulum. It swung probably too far. And I wouldn't say we need to go all the way back to like Caldera Battle Royale.
Yeah.
That was...
But we need to separate Resurgence a little bit from Big Map.
I agree with you, J God. It's not like I don't think we go BR, right? You're right. I think when we say BR, we're thinking of, I think everybody can agree that we all think of Verdansk, right? It is definitely, we're talking comparatively to COD, right? Like Verdansk is the gold standard, that pacing, right? But now if we're talking all BRs, COD is way faster, right? I think now we've gotten to the point where like Resurgence is literally like, the BR does feel like Resurgence, man. Like, and I don't know how I feel about it. I do wish kind of they wouldn't do that. I think I would like it if they upped the player count and then maybe a little bit less buybacks and stuff like that. Gave it a reason. Like I think Verdansk definitely felt amazing. Verdansk definitely felt good. That's just kind of, I don't know, the way I feel when it comes to that, man. I don't know. Ranked, I know definitely ranked's gonna feel a lot different for sure. But I will add to this, right? What do you guys feel about the whole zones now? Like I never ever go to any of the corners of the map anymore. The entire game, I'm downtown, old town, or low town. I don't know what they did to the algorithm, but it never pulls to any corners of the map.
They said that in the patch notes though, right? They were like, we limited extreme zone pulls. And I think they're kind of doing, I mean, Jay got hit it on the head. It's just a pendulum, like they took it too far and now they're playing safe. And it's also, the engine's probably just a mess. Like based on the bugs that we've had through the lifetime of the game, like there's like the pinky toe is connected to the earlobe, so to speak, like it's just a mess. So, I mean, we're in a really good spot, but same. Like I always end up, there's probably like it's all in the center of the map. I just think I think it's a big identity crisis. I was like a BR purist. I go to Resurgence when I was just bored. Just because I like the dope, like the stakes, Nothing hits like the stakes of not a real BR, but like the Warzone one identity that they made. And the problem is it was probably an accident, so they have no idea what to replicate. So now they're trying and they're doing a very good job, but there's just a couple little things that they just need to lead into the speed and the arcade and the this. And I think what's a struggle too is like with the audio, there's a whole casual base that likes one thing, and then there is like a separation. Yeah. So the regains suck for us, and immediately the first thing that got dropped in 2v2s, buybacks. You got one life. Yeah. And you know how banging that made it to watch? It's just so fire.
Yep.
That was fun as hell.
So, I mean, I hope they see that, and there is a way to, I mean, I think all it needs is like a risk reward. Like if you got tokens or a flare for doing something, if you earn that, it's probably not as cheesy, if it's rare, like, oh, I found a flare, not instead of like, oh man, like I know I play with the boys all the time. It's like, oh, let me find a flare. I got a flare. It's not like, oh, please Lord, let me find a flare. So it's a balance thing. I don't think we're far off, and I'll take some L's for the real BR if it means that COD does better. Like